people know. Oh yeah, we gotta let them know in Discord too. Hi everybody.
Hi.
Hi. We are it's the end of Star Wars weekend, and we may or may not be hung over from Star Wars news and excitement and craziness that may or may not happen. And somebody went to Whataburger earlier. I noticed that cup. Faye.
Can you blame the Texan?
Okay, so
Gig 'em.
before we get started, let's talk
Yep.
about Whataburger. Hey, John. So I had Whataburger at Love Field Airport for the first time back in February. And I gotta tell you, Faye, I wasn't that impressed.
Oh, the point about Whataburger is not like it's not more impressive than any fast food. It's
Uh-huh.
just like its large drink is not actually the size. This is the medium. The large drink is 44 ounces, which is honestly kind of fucking great.
Yeah. Is
That
it
reminds me of
like
the child-sized drink
thank
joke.
you. I was just about to say that. The child-sized drink from Parks and Rec. That's
The
like this
same
all.
volume as the average
Yes.
4-year-old
Yes,
child.
yes. This
Yeah,
has as much sugar as a 4-year-old child.
it
Uh,
Whataburger is the ultimate epitome of everything is bigger in Texas.
everything is
It
bigger in
really is.
Texas.
It
It
really
really
is.
is. And then I was thinking, well, maybe I didn't have a good experience because it was at Love Field Airport and I was
No,
flying out.
no. It's Whataburger food wise is pretty mediocre. I would not go there for its french fries. But like
Okay.
it's convenient and it has larger drinks. Yeah.
I'm not gonna, discredit you. I'm not gonna welcome to the live show, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is how we're gonna kick things off.
welcome to Whataburger Transmissions.
Whataburger beacon transmissions.
Yes.
What a beacon?
Whatabeacon transmission.
I can switch back over to the regular cup.
No, you're fine. I just saw the
No, you
cup
have to
and I was
commit to
like,
the
I
bit
gotta call
now.
this up. Yeah. I was like, I saw the
Well,
cup and I was like, I gotta call this out.
the bit is I actually have 3 cups.
Oh shit.
That's not
It's
enough
canon
cups. Those
now.
are rookie numbers. We've got to get those way up.
According to according to John in chat,
Well,
Whatabeacon transmissions is canon now.
yes. Oh wait,
Yes.
4th cup.
Happy to have contributed to canon.
Well, that's like Luna and I asked the one time if there was a TGI Fridays on Starlight Beacon for like
Yes,
all the Jedi to
obviously.
like hang out at. And Daniel Jose Alder was just like, yeah, it happened.
Oh my god. I
So
play
do
a
we have to?
game set on Starlight Beacon.
Fourth cup be with you.
I'm gonna send Toma to the TGA Fridays.
I mean it.
Do
Do
it.
it. Do it.
Do it.
I will watch your career with great interest. Oh, sorry,
Spoilers.
for the newly
Spoilers.
released movie, The
Yes.
Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Spoiler
We're
alert.
getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
So Star Wars weekend is coming to an end. What a crazy weekend if you're a Star Wars fan. It all started Friday with the release of a brand new Star Wars movie that has
Brand new.
not been seen in theaters for 12
Ever.
years because it had a re-release in 3D back in 2012. We're talking about a movie that's 25 years old now, and that's Phantom Menace. So we're gonna spoil it if you haven't seen the movie yet. My
So
wife just
prepare
gave me the
yourselves.
face. She's just like, "What are you talking about?"
We're committing to the bit.
We're committing to the bit. We've got the bit. Are you looking at
Committing to the
munchling
bit?
pins? We're committing to the bit. Yeah. So I got to. We all saw it Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Um, how was your theater going experience for it?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
going to the movies is kind of a routine for me. I try to go at least once a month,
Mhm.
but it's always fun to see like a special re-release. Last time I went for a re-release, it was for the last Lord of the Rings movie, where
Okay.
I straight up forgot about the extended editions for a minute. So I was like, wow, this movie's longer than I remembered.
Oh
4 hours.
no.
It was in the middle of midterms too, so I was like going like, "Oh man, I'll get home and like have time to study too." No,
Yeah.
no,
Mhm.
I got out of there and went straight to sleep.
The Return of the King is a long movie.
Yeah,
Um, oh yes. Real quick, let's just say, rest in peace, Bernard Hill, who played King Theoden.
yeah,
That was really shocking to hear today. Uh, Honestly, you couldn't have picked a better person to play King Theoden in those movies. He
really.
was incredible. Um,
What's
so
up?
ride for Rohan, ride for Ruin.
Right for Rowan, right for Ruin. What's up?
Hmm. Yes, I had to. Um. Anyway, so yeah, Phantom Menace. John, you had to work, so you could not see it. But you hope to see it later today or tomorrow. Cool, do it.
Yeah,
It's a great movie. It's one of the best Star Wars movies I've ever seen. This was my first time ever seeing it, like all of us here. Because we're committing to the bit.
yeah.
So,
Had never
uh,
seen it before.
yeah.
Hmm.
Leah, how was your movie going experience with the Phantom Menace?
Um, it was good. The the audience, it was like they'd seen it before or something.
It's not like it's 25 years old.
No.
Um, it, it, honestly, I just had a. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah.
I don't go to the movie theater that often.
Mhm,
It's not super. It's not the most conveniently located for me.
mhm.
But like, it's always fun when I do, and I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
Mm.
yeah. Um,
Then we came home and made dinner, and it was great.
oh, that's the way
Altogether,
to
a
do
great
it.
experience.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. We'll get to the bonus thing here in a minute.
Yes,
Um,
I think we should talk about the
Yes.
bonus thing and the bonus thing adjacent thing
yes,
at the
towards
Yeah.
same
the end.
time.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll hold that
Yeah, and
to the
I
end.
will say my experience of seeing it was a bit sobered by the fact that I had been at Star Wars night the night before.
Oh,
Hmm.
So and then I fell into the trap of when you are staying at a motel with a friend, which is what we call the slumber party effect.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
the
I know
punch
this.
drunk
So I
slumber
was
party effect.
and then I had work in the morning, so I had to come
Oh
back up
yeah,
from Anaheim to
Oh.
work.
that's rough.
And it was an early day at work
Ooh,
on top of that. Not that early, like 30 minutes early, but
okay,
still,
yeah,
it
it's
makes a
still
difference.
it
Yeah,
adds up after a
It
while.
adds up.
Yeah.
And then it
that's
was a
how I.
busy day at work. So
Oh yeah,
I was just rolling with it. And then I
yeah.
stayed up late to watch the other thing that we'll be talking about.
Yes, yes. Yes. We have two other things that we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
Actually,
We have
technically,
two things
three
that we're
other
kind of
things.
we have some things that we're saving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I will say this. So I got to see this. So we canceled our Friday AM tickets because one of my buddies, where we were going, one of my really, really close friends, he wanted to see it with me. So we got tickets for the theater that was showing it in the area. So we all went Friday night, and I got to tell you, the movie holds up so well. It
Oh
holds
yeah.
up so well. The CG is a little dated here and there, a little bit, but it's really not that bad. Um, but it
Yeah.
holds up so well, and it's such a beautiful movie.
Hmm.
And The pod race scene is incredible, and then just like I said, I'm still 6 chapters into the Living Force, so you have to forgive me here. Um, but just knowing like some of the stuff that happened in that year before the Phantom Menace is like kind of influencing this, and
Yeah, or
Yeah.
even the
then
few years before, you've got Master and Apprentice, you've
yes,
got
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
and like I kept thinking during the times when they talk about Qui-Gon and like how he defies the council all the time, I'm just
Hmm.
thinking of Master and Apprentice the entire
Oh
I'm
time.
yeah.
thinking Master and Apprentice. I'm thinking
Mhm.
Padawan. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
exactly.
Yeah. It's
Ex-
so it's so good. And really nothing else can really live up to seeing on the big
mm.
screen. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
But
now this is pod racing.
and no one
Yeah.
questions that there's a 9-year-old kid flying out of an exploding ship in a
Yeah,
stolen
no.
starfighter. Uh,
Exactly.
but it was really funny when we were sitting there. My wife and my buddy and I, we were kind of like, joking a little bit as we were sitting
Right.
there, like watching the movie. And there's the scene where the ships, the N1s, take off from the
Hmm.
hangar, and the tank gets the one guy, and he flies, like he just crashes, and my buddy's like, he bailed out, right? And I was like, no, he was 3
No.
days from retirement.
Oh my god.
He's like, oh god, that's even
Look,
worse.
they haven't been here in a few days. Those ships probably weren't getting maintenance. The
Yeah,
droids weren't maintaining those things.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
least of all, were they maintaining the life support and like
yeah.
parachutes and stuff. Yeah,
So
no luck.
yeah, but it was so cool. I love the pod race. The pod race is
Hmm.
so damn good. And he had a picture with his family in his cockpit. He did. He
No.
did. It might have been his wife and his kid holding up like a baby Tuca or something like that. you know. Yeah.
I'm I'm going to, with zero context, send a relevant image in the Discord, and people can just see it on their own time.
Oh
I
god.
gotta see this real quick.
It's
Yeah.
here. I'll give a description for anyone who is audio only. This is um a like work doodle from one of the storyboarders for Young Jedi Adventures. At Christina is drawing
What?
of Liz
Nothing.
Soleil holding up a Tuca cat, and it's doing the thing that cats do, where they like
Get real
stretch,
long.
where they
Yeah.
get real long
Yeah.
when you hold them up,
Like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
like that exactly.
That's his
Except because it's Young
that's
Jedi
the photo
Adventures
in the cockpit.
proportions, the cat is the same height as her.
Yeah.
It's the photo in the cockpit.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh
Um God, now I lost my
god.
train of thought. Um
Anyway,
All
spinning.
of
yeah,
us
That's a
have.
neat
I
trick.
I'm
yeah,
trying to
so spinning,
detach the
that's a neat
cat from
trick.
me now.
Um
The cat has decided.
but I will
Oh.
also say that like there's so much like thinking about it now, there's so much foreshadowing in that movie with like Padme and like the whole duplicate, body double thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the more I was thinking about it when I was sitting there, when she's like, the queen would never approve of this, and then Qui-Gon's like, well, the queen doesn't need to know, and she goes, I don't approve, and then like he just like walks away, and I'm just thinking like foreshadowing right there, like
I
Yeah.
I know in my heart that Qui-Gon knew, and he was just
oh
seeing if
yeah,
he could get enough of a rise out of her for her to confirm it.
oh,
Uh, because he's like that.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Of course he
Um,
is.
yeah, yeah,
I love that movie so much.
it's fun.
It is, and I gotta tell you, like Jar Jar not nearly as bad as people say. Like he's gotten so much better through Clone Wars and through other things. Like he's such a great character. And then in fact my buddy Tim and I were doing Arnold impressions of Jar Jar before the movie started. And I was like, use the guy Bombad.
God.
See,
But then
I
he
never
did it
got the Jar
cool.
Jar hate. Like, I always loved Jar Jar.
Hmm.
I
Right, but we were like small children with this movie.
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
Very
I
We were not
true.
the
was
target audience for the Jar Jar hate.
I was 12 when the movie came out.
Right.
And I loved it. Like even Jar Jar, I was like, this guy is awesome. He's funny. I don't care what anybody says, and I still don't care what anybody says because he's a great character and he's
And
fun.
John made a great point. He was revolutionary for
Yeah.
CGI characters.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He was, because it was also
Yeah.
that practical with CGI effects. Because like if you
Oh
look
yeah.
at his hand, like when he's like trying to reach for the spanner that gets stuck in the pod racing engine, like that's a real prosthetic
Like
hand.
they anytime that you see like a behind the scenes shot from any of his scenes
Hmm.
in the Phantom Menace, it's like they were working their asses off to
Yeah,
make that
they
guy
were.
work.
Yeah, and they did a great job of it too. They
Yeah.
did a great job.
Hmm.
My buddy Tim also pointed out a really amazing tidbit. It's towards the end of the movie when the Republic transport lands at Theed and they're taking Newt Gunnery away. You see the Jedi contingent come walking down, and you see a Jedi that you see an African American Jedi, but it's not Mace Windu, and I'm thinking it's
No.
Kelleran Beck.
Hmm.
I would need to look closer at the scene to see what the actor
Yeah,
is, but
Yeah.
it looks a lot like Ahmed Best.
I wouldn't be shocked if
Yeah,
it were, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't say that I noticed,
yeah,
so I'll have to
but
look back.
but my wife's like, yeah, they weren't thinking that far ahead, but I'm like, in my head, they were, and
Look,
that is Kelleran Beck.
Star Wars lore is like 90% not thinking ahead and then coming up with a way to fill in the hole that you've created
Yeah,
by grabbing random
Yeah.
costumes off of the costume lot
yeah.
to fill up your cantina.
Well, that's also
Yeah.
like when you look at the old man in Return of the Jedi, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, that's Rex.
And
It's
then they're
like,
like,
Yeah.
well, it isn't, but he was there.
yeah,
And he looks like that, but not
But
quite
like
like
it's
that.
Rex.
in my heart, it's Rex. Even though potentially I,
Yeah,
in my hardest of hearts, I wish there was a way to undo the advanced aging for the clones.
yeah.
I, God, I wish.
I mean,
Uh,
we do know that he was at the Battle of Endor.
We do
yeah.
So,
know. I'm just like, man, I wish the clones could just live longer,
Hmm.
but
I
they are
mean,
doomed by the narrative. And
They
they're
yeah,
are.
like
doomed
that's
by
kind of a big part of them. They're
yeah.
born to
And
die. Anyway, we're not talking about the big clone related thing
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Not this
but
week.
but
this week.
anyway, to me that's Kelleran Beck, and
Mm.
for him to like show up on Naboo. Now, really quick funny thing, you know how much I love that Faye. You and I have talked about this. Freddie Prinze Jr. in Bad Batch, and how like he had the deep voice and just went sup balaba essentially like
So
when he showed
Paloma.
up when he showed up.
Yeah.
Every time Balaba showed up on screen in the Phantom Menace, I just leaned over to my wife and I was like, "Sup, Balaba? Sup?"
Yeah.
I just keep thinking about it. I'm just like,
So Paloma.
"Sup,
It's
Balaba?"
it's like how I can no longer say huzzah in a normal way.
Yeah, yeah.
I
When
It's like how and I can't say excellent in a normal voice either. You know, it's some
excellent.
things just
Yeah. It
Most
just
excellent.
Yeah, most excellent,
huzzah.
bro. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Oh yeah, every time you see Dappa Balaba now, you just have to be like, "Sup, Balaba?
Sup, below.
Bro-
It's gonna
brought
make
the
Living
getting
brought the
through
Force.
Living Force
reinforcements."
even slower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
because every time
benefit of
she
reading
shows
the
up,
Living Force is that it caught me out of the sup balama habit because I had to get through that book.
but like every time she was there, I was like, I was looking for Kanan because I was like, "Where's Kanan? Because he should be with her right now." And then I was
But
thinking, yeah,
no,
yeah, and then I was thinking, well, Cal should be with his master at this point. Like I was just thinking about all of this. So um anyway,
I don't think that he would have, because he wasn't taken on as a Padawan until
who,
years and
Cal?
years later.
Mhm.
Uh,
Because Cal and Caleb are both pretty young when the war ends.
that's right. They would be younglings at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah. They'd be getting ready to be chosen.
yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be younglings, if that.
Yeah. They would
Because
be initiates.
Yeah,
they would be getting picked up by seekers.
Yeah,
yeah.
probably. Yeah. Um but yeah, 25-year-old movie still holds up. It was still amazing to see. Um, there was some bonus stuff with that we're going to talk about towards the end here. So let's move on here. I just want to share my quick thoughts on the Bad Batch finale. And then next week, we're actually going to have a huge Bad Batch roundtable in which I'm trying to get a bunch of people to join us for because I think that would be a lot of fun to do. Um,
Mhm.
love the finale. Absolutely loved the finale. I loved where they went with it. Um, I teared up at the end. The end to the show is perfect in every single way. And it tugs on your heartstrings in all the right way. So Bad Batch, well done. Way to stick the landing. Um, I'm gonna miss you, Clone Force 99. I really am, and I'm getting teared up just thinking about it because they that show hit so differently, like in the best way possible. Um, Yeah. So, real quick, as we are moving on here and we're about to talk about May 4th, I did something today that, yeah. Faye, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Um, I may or may not have gotten a PlayStation 5 today,
Oh,
and I may or may not have picked this up today.
Very
yeah. So
nice.
we're gonna
Um,
lose you.
yeah, you're gonna lose me again. Actually, no, you are really gonna lose me.
I
Ooh, double
feel
hitter.
I feel
Yeah.
much less bad about my stack of mistakes over here then.
Um, I, I, I'm not gonna
I
talk
make
about
no
it, but
mistakes. Everything
I
I do is
was,
correct.
yeah, I was able to pick up a PlayStation 5, and I was just like, plus Jedi Survivor was on sale for like half off, and
Oh,
I was like, I'm
nice.
picking this up. Like,
Yeah.
even though I have it on Xbox, I'm picking it up on PS5 because I want to play it again. So Spider-Man is downloading right now, and next is going to be Jedi Survivor. Um, but yeah, so the only time you're going to see me is maybe live shows. That's about it.
Apparently. I
um,
this is how
I
my
support
friends
it.
feel. Yeah, I support this. This is how my friends felt when they saw that I had downloaded Manor Lords because it's an RTS of basically building a medieval village, and I'm like, ah, yes,
I have been eyeballing that,
economics.
Faye. I have been
It's
eyeballing it.
so good.
I'm not
Uh,
letting myself buy any new games until I finally actually finish Baldur's Gate 3.
um,
the Manor Lord soundtrack is wonderful. I know the dances to most of the songs.
nice. I will say this real quick, Faye. Have you played Age of Empires?
I have, yes.
Okay, okay,
I
because
I grew up on Age of Empires and Age of Mythology. Those are the video games I played growing up.
Mythology is getting a remaster.
I hope that they keep in the flying purple people eater.
I hope so. Um, I can't listen to that song without thinking of X-Men 97 now, by the way. Just saying.
So, since we're bringing up this song, I need to bring up my biggest gripe with it.
What, Purple People Eater?
It says right there in the song that he eats purple people.
Yeah,
It never mentions in the song whether or not he himself is purple.
that is true.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Because it could be a one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It could be a
It
flying
could be.
cyclops with a horn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be
Who
any
knows?
color.
Yeah.
Who
Um
knows?
Anyway,
anyway, let's talk about May 4th, yesterday, which happened to be Star Trek Day. I mean, no, wait, it was Star Wars Day.
it doesn't
Uh,
even want my hand to show up.
That was the head tilt of me just going, I'm about to jump through the screen.
I do it just to see your reaction, by the way. That's why I
Yeah.
do it. Yeah. It was also Free Comic Book Day yesterday, so
It was.
It
one of the
was.
best days of the year, besides Treat
Truly.
Yourself. Actually, that is a Treat Yourself Day.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
yes. So, Free Comic Book Day, they had a bunch of stuff. I see Faye, you have your stack of free comics there.
Yeah.
You got Young Jedi Adventures there.
I've got Barda as well, one of the DC comics that they
Okay.
had. And then of course I got
The other Star Wars.
the
The
other
other Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Yes.
We had a 3 comic limit at my
Okay.
local shop, but it's okay because I got more.
Nice. Did you go? That's right. You went to another store.
Well, no, I went back to the same store. I did not
Nice.
get more free
I see the
comics
hunger in the
because
dusk.
I was in costume. However, I was
Mhm.
like, I originally was like, I'm not just gonna go in and get like a free comic. So I got a
It's that
hundred.
cover, and it's that cover.
That is a
Yeah.
beautiful cover.
So I got
The Kalantara cover.
yeah. So I got the Hunger in the Dusk, and then I
Mhm.
got some very fun Star Wars
Oh
comics,
yeah. Is that
including
the Starlight Shadows of Starlight paperback?
the omnibus. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh.
So I got the omnibus for Shadows of Starlight. I got Volume 1 of Saber for Hire, and then of course Thrawn Alliances.
Nice.
Look at that
Very
blue
nice.
boy.
Our
Blue
favorite
boy.
blue boy.
So yeah, I got
This
quite
is
a couple
Kevmo's
comics.
Ink erasure. Kevmo's Ink is still my favorite blue boy. No, maybe it's well. Kevmo, Farzala, and Court are fighting for who's my favorite blue boy.
Blue boy.
See, it's all different undertones of blue.
Exactly.
He's a blueberry.
Right,
All
he's
right,
a
let me see
blueberry.
here.
Then there's the blue cat boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Farzala and Court.
The cat boys.
They are.
And then there's
They
blue
are.
doomed by the narrative boys.
That
That's
is true.
Kevmo.
That is true. Give me 1 second here, and then I will
I
show
would show
you.
off my stack from yesterday, except I had promised myself that I would eliminate the stack of unbagged, unboarded, untagged, unsorted comics
Yeah.
on Free Comic Book Day. So they are all currently in their nice little dividers where they live.
Oh,
So I
good.
can pull them off of my shelf and look at them whenever I like.
Nice. All right. So I have a stack here for you. I went to 2 different stores between yesterday and today. Where we were for Star Wars Day, we went to a local comic book shop. And I picked up a couple of comics, but I also picked up this One Piece trading card game deck box or card box because I wanted it,
Yeah.
and it's got Zoro and Sanji there. So there's that. I've got the Free Comic Book Day Ace set. Um, Maleficent.
Nice.
Yes, which this one is actually a pretty fun series from what I heard. Of
Very
course,
nice.
had to. Um, had to. Had
Had
to.
Had
to.
to.
Had to. Because it's our two
Yeah,
blue boys. It's our two
it's
blue
the Blue
boys.
It's two of the
Boys.
blue boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Marvel Voices, which is pretty cool.
I heard good things about that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
My
Energon
place,
Universe.
very nice. My place had the 4-book limit, so I had
Ah.
to skip on Marvel
Mhm.
Voices.
So this is between the one place I went to yesterday and the one place I went to today.
Right.
Picked up this one that has Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe. If you're not reading Ultimate Spider-Man, do yourself a favor, read it. It's amazing. And then had to.
Had
Saber for
to.
hire. I mean,
Saber
Yep.
for hire.
it's Ty Yorick.
Had to. I finally got Crash
Crash
Landing.
Landing.
I'm so excited for this one shot. I'm so excited for this one
Oh.
shot.
It's so. Rue is
Uh,
there. What else do I need to say?
Yeah.
Rue,
Leah. Yeah, go ahead.
just Rue. That's all I had to say.
Leah,
Va-
this one's for
valid.
you. This is the Shift one shot from Radiant Black.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes.
I need to get back. I need to get back on that train.
Because you know who Shift is.
Mhm.
He's one
I
of the villains.
I barely got into Radiant.
Okay.
I need to get back onto
Um
the train.
then I got some stuff from a brand new image imprint called Ghost Machine. So I got
Ooh.
Geiger, written by Jeff
Neat.
Johns. I got Red Coat, written by Jeff Johns.
I almost picked up Red Coat.
I'll let
That
you
is
know
a
how it
great.
is.
I don't
You-
even know what it
please
is, but the
tell me.
title alone is
Yeah.
like hooking me.
Yeah,
And that's the back.
Very nice.
I
Yeah.
love overdramatic history pieces so much.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
got this other one from Ghost Machine called Rook Exodus.
Neat.
It's kind of like a sci-fi epic. And then I love Power Rangers.
Hmm.
I picked up finally I got the first 3 volumes of Go Go Loser Ranger, the manga.
Go Go Loser Ranger!
Yes. That's one.
Impressive.
That's 2.
I think genuinely
That's
I would
3.
read this series. If it is what I think it is.
It's like, what if the Power Rangers were bad?
Yeah, it is what I
Yes.
think it is.
Yes. So it was either I was going to pick this up or the first omnibus of Fire Force, and I was like, I really want to read Go Go Loser Ranger because I heard nothing but good things about it.
Read Go Go Loser Ranger.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big Power Rangers fan anyway, and what Boom Studios
Yeah.
did with Power Rangers was incredible.
Mhm.
And I'm really sad that the main series is over, but they are relaunching it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was just like, yeah, why not? So,
Why not?
yeah, that was the haul there. Yeah, free comic book day. Oh, what a day. What a day.
What a day.
Free Comic Book Day is such like it's probably my favorite part about like being a fan of comics is just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it reminds you that like it's about the community. It's about the
It
people
is.
that you meet along the way. I
It
made
really
2
is.
new friends standing in line for Free Comic Book Day, and then we like spent the day like going to because my comic shop every Free Comic Book Day they like partner with other businesses around them and have like certain free comics are only available if you go to these other places.
Yeah.
So like Star Wars
Mhm.
Marvel, you could only get from this hot dog stand. Um, one of the DC comics you could only get if you went to this coffee shop, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, And so we just kind of like did the rounds,
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
coffee, got lunch at the hot dog stand, and it was great. It was great. And then I felt like I was cheating when I entered a Star Wars trivia thing, but
Mhm.
I won the Blu-ray of Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I consider that a victory.
That is a
I was the
Nice.
huge.
only person who answered Din Grogu instead of Grogu for one of the
Ooh,
questions, and that is what decided it.
nice, because you did the full
Amazing.
name.
Because I said
Yeah.
the full name, not
Yeah,
just the given name.
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Um, but yeah, Free Comic Book Day is just it's one of my favorite days of the year.
It really
It's
is. It's
so
a good day.
good.
Yeah, my wife just did the treat yourself best day of the year thing.
Treat
Um,
yourself.
but I a bunch of years ago I worked part-time at a comic book store and I did a free comic book day, and I loved just interacting with everybody and just being like, "Hey, if you like this, you're gonna really like this," and like showing people other comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was a great way to get kids into comics as well. Like it's such a cool way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Um,
always love Free Comic Book Day. It's like a great time to like check out series that you've heard things
yes.
about but
Yeah.
haven't you don't want to make the monetary plunge yet,
Yeah.
or like check out, do I like the style of this publisher?
Yeah. Um,
Um yeah.
one of the ones that I missed out on, because I just forgot it was out until I saw it later today, or earlier today. It was the James Tinian the fourth one that Boom came out with, and it's like
Mhm.
all the series that he does, like
Mhm.
Something is Killing the Children and House of Slaughter and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I've read the first
Hmm.
trade of Something is Killing the Children. That book is incredible. Like it's so good. Have you read that, Faye?
It was one of the ones that I kind of was like flipping through, and I was just like, I'm only gonna get one more comic. A lie. I went back and got three more, but like, I was like, I was genuinely trying to decide between uh what I ended up getting with The Hunger and the Dusk,
Yeah.
or Something is Killing the Children. I was like, what's the vibe I'm going for today, and I ended up picking the Orcs.
Oh,
Hot Orc Summer is
that
good. Especially
that's
yeah.
Hot or summer.
yeah.
Um yeah. I know was Magma Comics had like their preview
Yeah.
thing, because a lot of Free Comic Book Day comics are like preview material or like
Yeah.
republished
Yeah.
material, which is great. That's also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic. Um and I know that they had their preview material with like the num or previews of like the number ones of their first three series that have come out
Yeah.
now. So like
Mhm.
it's great to like get to see
Mhm.
what other people, other publishers are doing before making a monetary plunge
Yeah.
into back catalog
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
pull lists and all that.
I saw the one I didn't there was another one I didn't pick up, and I wanted to because of I wanted to see the preview of Gail Simone's X-Men series that
Mhm.
she's writing.
Mhm.
But I can't stand vampires, so I just decided not to read the Blood Hunt part. I was just
So
like,
fair.
yeah,
Fair.
I was like, I don't want Blood Hunt in front of what I want to read.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on Marvel. Like if they think Blood Hunt's going to sell, which it is, that's cool. But not everybody's into that.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people like vampires, but not everybody.
exactly. But
Mhm.
I do love when like a new publisher is like previewing their all their number ones and stuff in a free comic book day issue
Yeah.
because it does generate buzz. Um,
It does.
It does. And I will say this time and time again, the indie scene is definitely where it's at in comics. I love the smaller publishers like Boom,
Mhm.
IDW. Um, Mad Cave is really good too. Valiant is making a return, which is great. because if you've never read Bloodshot, do yourself a favor and read Bloodshot, because that's awesome. It's literally what if the Punisher had amnesia and had Wolverine's healing powers. Yeah. And
Yeah.
his healing powers are actually nanorobots. I think I sold Faye.
Wow. Yeah. It was it was that, and also a combination of, I just thought about the nanorobots that are in my cyberpunk game that are
John,
piloted by an AI named Clippy.
nice. Clippy. It's a Microsoft clip.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
actually.
Nice. John, there was a Bloodshot movie. However, we don't talk about the Bloodshot movie because it was not good. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's move on from Free Comic Book Day to May the 4th now. We had some tie-ins because of the Star Wars material. We had the Young Jedi Adventures comic, which the art in that is super adorable and
So
just
cute.
beautiful.
So precious.
And then we had the Star Wars tie-in issue for the Marvel, which is previewing the final issues of that run, which I can't wait to see where they go from there. I really can't.
Same.
But
I
yeah.
As much as I have loved the 2020 series of runs, I'm seeing from the synopses, or from the solicits we've gotten,
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what comes next after the 2020 run.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
But I really liked both of the Star Wars offerings for Free Comic Book
Yeah,
Day.
I did too.
They were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's
Mhm.
about being fun, getting new readers intrigued, getting the older readers back into the series as well. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, getting older readers back into the series, getting people who are reading every issue like
Mhm.
a little something extra.
Oh yeah. And I will say this, Charles was an amazing mastermind with that entire initiative and with that entire run, with bringing all of the other writers on board, with Alyssa,
Mhm.
with Greg, with Ethan, bringing them all on board for these massive events that they did as well. So, yeah, kudos to Marvel, kudos to all of those creative teams as
Yeah.
well. The one I'm gonna miss the most is definitely Bounty Hunters. That's the one that I'm gonna
That
miss the
was so
most.
much fun.
And I want the omnibus for that. I really do. Uh,
I need to read Bounty Hunters.
it's so good. It's
I
literally a soap opera.
I get spoilers from it from Twitter, and I'm just like, I want whatever they're having.
It's
Okay, when Harry met Sally.
It's bonkers.
Yes, it is bonkers.
Yeah,
It is
Violet
bonkers.
Valance is one of the great characters.
Yes.
One of there are like one of the things that, I mean, all of the writers who have been working on the canon since the Disney acquisition have been doing so well with this, is like
Yeah.
picking and choosing what to bring in from Legends, from
Mhm.
the old
Mhm.
EU.
Yeah.
Valance was a big one. And then he became, this flagship character of one of the comic runs.
Mhm.
In Dr. Offer, you had the Tag family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's just so many, like, and even just little things, little, you know, one-off characters. Tyrannol Screed coming up in the Tarkin book.
That's
Just
such
like
an
silly little
underrated book.
things. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's all of the
Like,
comic runs are Star Wars comics are where it's at.
What do we think will happen to Afra? Oh, she's popping up again.
oh yeah, she's
I
popping
don't
up again.
I do
They're not
fear
gonna
that
kill
Afra
Afra.
has become one of the big names in Star Wars comics. She's
Mhm.
gonna stick around.
Oh yeah.
I
They're
mean,
not killing
like,
her.
yes, the last thing that we know about her is that they're sending a bounty hunter to kill her, but like, She's died before. It didn't stick. Uh,
All I'm gonna say is this: if it follows comic book formula, they'll kill her, and in 6 months she'll be back.
Yeah.
right.
they'll they'll run that book for 6 issues for the aftermath, and then they'll do a return of Dr. Aphra series, and
Yeah.
she'll be
If I,
back.
if I had a nickel for every time comics did that, I would be a rich, rich woman.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just I mean, don't get me started. Don't even get me started because people got shocked like when Batman died a bunch of years ago. I'm like, he's coming back.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Nobody's ever dead. Nobody in comics is ever dead.
Hmm.
Except for Jean Grey one time. And
Yeah.
then they brought her back.
The only Star Wars character that is definitely dead is Padme.
And Vader.
And Satine.
And Satine.
And Satine. Only
And
love
Obi-Wan.
interests stay dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Owen ain't never truly gone. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Actually, you're right though, Faye. Only love interests are the only people that die. Yeah. Well, technically, you could say the same for Vader then.
see, but at least when Vader dies, he continues to influence the plot.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Padme dies and it's just abrupt.
They
Like, that's it. Or does that mean that
I
Tana and Magna will die? I hope not.
I hope, you know what, if
I
they
hope
do
not.
die, I do think it will be a yeah, but they'll come back type.
It will be, if they die, it will be a glorious death. Like they're going out.
If they die, it's gonna be a big day for Star Wars
Yeah.
comics.
If they die,
Mhm.
they're going out listening to the Star Wars version of Freebird, like in a massive shootout with
Yeah,
stuff blowing up around them. Like that's how they're going out.
they're going out saving the day or
Yeah.
ruining the day. Probably saving since it's Sana and Magna. If Afra died, it would be going out ruining the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe they'll die fixing her mess.
Oh, that would hurt. That would hurt
Yeah.
so bad
That would
though.
hurt.
It would. It would. Um,
Anyway,
yeah. But it's a
free
great
comic
time.
book day.
Yeah, but it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan, a
It's a great
Star
time to
Wars
be a
comic
Star Wars
fan.
fan.
Yeah.
Star Wars comics fan. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about something that released yesterday. We had Tales of the Empire hit. All 6
We
episodes
did.
dropped,
Oh yeah.
which we actually watched all 6 yesterday.
Same.
And I gotta say, it was fantastic. It was well done. I actually liked this more than I liked Tales of the Jedi, and I was a big fan of the Dooku stuff in Tales of the Jedi. Like I was a huge fan of what they did with Dooku. But this, I thought they knocked it out of the park even more.
Oh, the fan that they were servicing was me.
The fan that they were servicing was me.
Like,
Yeah.
finally get like a resolution for what happened to Bara Sophie.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
And she's the one behind the hidden path.
she is. But I will also say this. Who's the friend that she was talking about though?
I have a pretty good idea about who that friend was.
I think
Okay.
so.
Who do you think?
I I mean, I think that the easy we're talking spoilers, by the way, people.
Yeah, sorry,
I think that
spoiler warning.
the like easy, straightforward answer would be she's talking about Ahsoka because
Uh-huh.
I know that Ahsoka was working information. That was what she wanted to do in
Yeah.
the rebellion. I definitely think that the hidden path constitutes information. It
Yeah.
constitutes, keeping secrets and moving things
Yeah.
around secretly. And also it could just be a case of you know, just one link in this chain. Not every person knows every, like, I would be willing to bet that the average person who worked for the Hidden Path didn't know about Jabim or didn't know about
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
any
Like,
of, didn't know about several major safe houses.
yeah.
and I think that the whole like the rebellion and the hidden path have interests that align with one another quite frequently.
Absolutely.
So I can definitely see them using the same intelligence network.
Yeah.
I am also partially, especially because of the whole Quinlan was here thing from Kenobi. I'm like, what if it's Quinlan? Where's my boy?
What if it's
I would have
Ventress?
loved that. I mean, if it was Ventress, that would have been pretty cool too.
Because if she's talking about Ventress as like an old friend, then that's like,
Oh,
wow, this is full circle. It
So
wasn't stated. It
they
was
it
implied
wasn't. It's heavily implied.
and
yeah.
and maybe not started, but definitely strongly participated in that kind of network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it was what if it was Seer? Because we know Seer was involved in it too.
The only question is how exactly those three things, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, we know that this takes place after Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh no, because Survivor takes place at the same time as Kenobi,
it could
so
take place after Kenobi though. It takes place in the
yeah,
same year, but like that's 12 months. Or I guess 10
yeah,
months if you're using the galactic standard calendar.
yeah,
I
Whatever.
think we're using Galactic Standard.
That's 10 months that you could set it in.
yeah.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi, there is no way that that takes more than one of those months.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a month,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Ditto Survivor.
Survivor, I think, is more like 2 months.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it kind of depends on how exactly you play it, how you play it out.
Yeah.
But either way, they can very easily fit all three of those stories into 1 year.
Yeah.
It's just a question of what order they all take place in. So it's very plausible that it could be sending along to Seer, sending along to yeah.
Yeah.
But then part of me, but I'm sitting there and I'm thinking now, part of me is thinking it might not be Seer because Barris is a lot older in that one episode.
She
Barris is a lot older. She's also living on a cold, dry, windswept planet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
That's
And
not good for Spin.
and
No, we saw that with
pushing
Obi-Wan.
herself to healing people, which if she's doing force healing, they've
Yeah, that's
established
true.
that drains on your own stamina.
Yeah,
Like,
because
yeah.
I mean, Obi-Wan was in the elements on Tatooine, and we saw that
Yeah.
that aged him pretty well too. So
Yeah.
Ditto Owen and Baru.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
Like, yes, the Mary Allens are also come from a cold,
Yeah.
dry. They're from a tundra.
That's true.
The frozen,
So I
that's
don't
true.
think it is the mere elements. I think it's mostly implied force healing.
Right, because
Yeah.
we've also got to account for the fact that Mary Ellen's lived for like 150 years
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah, which we're about to get into.
So like this is not 120-year time skip to get to
No.
this.
No,
No,
this isn't.
no.
So it has to be some kind of outside force. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
or I guess outside force capital F. Um
Ooh.
it could also be kind of like with the I don't know, the Sheev Palpatine thing of like the corruption of the dark side taking form
Yeah.
through premature aging.
Yeah, because
It could be like
yeah.
a lingering effect from that period of her life. And I can
Yeah.
very much see Barris at that stage in her life being like, well, it is a marker of something bad that I did in my past, but I'm gonna wear it with pride. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hide it. Because it's part of who she is, part of what she is. I don't know.
So there was
Could
one
also just be
character.
genetics.
Yeah, that's true too. There was one character I really wanted to see, and especially after they had a novel last year, and that's Iscat. I wanted to see Iscat. I wanted to see a small cameo. Like just give me
I
a small cameo.
I understand why they didn't, because these are probably because the production cycle for animation is a lot longer than the production cycle for a book.
Absolutely.
So like it was
Absolutely.
probably being worked on at the same time, and like
Yeah.
uh weren't treading the same ground. And also just I think a lot of the Inquisitor media has kind of made it clear that, like, while the Inquisitors were training with each other and working with each other, they were kind of intentionally kept at arm's length from each other.
Mhm.
And like in Vader 2017, when Iskat and Twalon like started getting too close,
Mhm.
Vader was like, "No, yeah, I'm gonna hunt you down now."
Yeah.
Because you kind of don't want the Inquisitors to realize that there are more of them than there are Vader. You
Yeah.
don't want them to realize that they have more in common with each other and with the Jedi that they're hunting than with
Yeah.
their handler.
If they are
Yeah.
isolated, then it is easier to use their emotions against them.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well, and I will also say the whole thing with Iscat though, like her story is a real heavy story too. Like it
that
is,
too.
Yeah.
yeah. It is that is a very mature story. Um, not saying that it couldn't have been handled in animation, but I'm just saying like that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted to see her, um, but the Barris stories were great.
Yeah.
It was nice to see her redeem herself.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the other one.
Morgan.
Yeah,
So
you two take it away.
I want to say right off the bat that I really liked Inosanto's acting in it. I thought
Hmm.
that she did great.
Yep.
I think it's very clear that she has a lot of love for the character and for
Yes.
the story. And I really, really liked the first episode of hers, like
Hmm.
particularly. It was my favorite of the three. And I
Mhm.
think that's
Yeah.
a pretty common sentiment.
Hmm.
Um, I think it was really neat seeing another clan of the witches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Light sisters.
we've seen them before,
Yep.
both in the EU and in um a couple of times, like briefly in canon in short
Hmm.
stories and such.
Well, I mean, Marin's from a different tribe of Night Sister witches too.
Uh yeah, but she's also from still the like Night Sister
Yeah.
Yeah. The
branches.
the Mountain Clan is
The
Yeah.
so
The
Mountain Clan is
Light
like a
distinct.
sisters.
separate because like the Mountain Clan, they are a separate thing. We know that they're a little bit more interconnected outside of the planet of Dathomir, unlike the
Mhm.
Night Sisters. If I remember correctly, that's where Gela Natai got the aerial walk from.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so like it, they're a very different group, but it was nice to see like they still have this strong kinship with the Night
Hmm.
Sisters. They're
Mhm.
still like going and checking on them, seeing what happened. They
Sorry.
recognize that they're, even if they're not targeted
Hmm.
by the separatists, they're still like they have that shared planet, shared
Hmm.
system, shared whatever with the Night Sisters, and like they know that they're intertwined.
Yeah.
And when they found one still alive, they were like, "Yeah, we have to take her in. Of course, we're going
Yeah.
to."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that was really neat to see.
Hmm.
I think
Um,
it was neat to see as well. It also all the worries about the separatists, like I understand the caution that they take with regards to like interacting with the what remains of the Night Sisters afterwards, because while they understand that they are a different group, it would be so easy for separatists to be like, no, you're Dathomirian, we're gonna take you out too.
Yeah.
Are you a witch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they going to do to make sure that they're witches? Are they going to like throw them into a body of water and see if they float?
Well, it all goes to the Mighty Python joke about the wood and the duck. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. A duck.
I think they'd pull out the fork.
God.
I know too much about torture devices from the witch hunts.
Quick side note about witch hunts, Faye. There is an Assassin's Creed coming out that may or may not deal with the Germanic witch hunts. So just letting you know.
Don't get me started on Assassin's Creed, please.
I was going to say, Assassin's Creed feels like the exact kind of pop history that Faye would have strong thoughts about.
Like,
I have been nice
wrong
to
or
everyone
good?
talking about Valhalla.
Okay. Okay.
I've been
Okay.
nice. I hold
Okay.
restraint.
Nice. Anyway, back to Night Sisters.
Yes.
But it was really cool to see the evolution of Morgan's character.
Yeah.
And I love the second episode especially because she's the one that came up with the TIE Defender project in the first place. And then
I knew that Thrawn didn't have the engineering know-how for that.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
too complicated for Thrawn.
Well, I mean, look, the man is very smart. We know
Oh
this.
no,
He is
he is.
canonically extremely intelligent.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
also definitely does not know calculus. Like,
He's an
personally.
art major.
He's an
He's
art
an
and history
artist.
guy.
He's an art historian.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is a phenomenal field.
And he
Very
loves
in-depth.
music.
Does not require mathematics.
No.
The only math that he would have to know is the golden goddamn ratio.
Right.
Yeah.
He's doing like, okay, rule of thirds, golden ratio, Fibonacci series, maybe.
Oh,
Hold
look,
on.
art.
Someone check against the TIE Defenders. Does it fit within the golden ratio?
Well, the triangle, which is the strongest shape.
There we go, yeah.
You know.
But even then, like I could just see like somebody just explaining the TIE Defender project to Thrawn and him just being like, "Oh, look, art."
It's the
Ooh, triangle.
no, it's
Triangle.
Do you think
Let
he
me
looked
see
at it
that.
and was immediately like, oh,
I know some of
this
these
is clearly
words.
done by the witches of Dathomir.
He just sees the design of it and he's like, "Those look like the marks of the witches."
Probably
Not
actually
everyone is
why he
as
picked it.
read in the history of the witch clans of Dathomir as I
But
am.
you know what would have made that whole appearance better? And I know he's not there, but it would have made it so much better if some macro had been there too. I would have loved to have seen some
Oh,
macro in Imperial
and
uniform.
as much as I understand having Pelion there with
Yeah.
with how he was the one who was in
Heir to the Empire.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just talking canon here.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
he was the one who was in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I understand wanting to have that through line, especially
Yeah.
because the average person watching this show is not the average person who has read the Thrawn novels. However, how funny would it have been to have Eli goddamn Vanto be the one walking up to Morgan Elsbeth after that meet and being like, "Hey Morgan, I really enjoy your presentation. Can you tell me why are you with the Empire?"
Would you like to see my boss? Because he has a few questions for you.
My
I
boss
tell
is
you
That or
what.
like
for you,
if
Morgan.
this is potentially like you know, it's either that or Karen.
Karen Farrow. That
Karen
would also be a good
Farrow.
one. But I mean, as much as
God, Colleen
as
Farrell.
much as I understand the the Thrawn fans finding whatever issues with it. I admit I don't know the Thrawn. I haven't read them back to front as many
Yeah.
times as to be able to pick things apart like that. I'm just kind of watching it and enjoying seeing Blue Man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another blue
But
boy.
and this is not a dig. I completely understand having, being
Yeah.
annoyed when books get sidelined. I totally understand the choice to have it be Pelion because
Yeah.
he's the one who was there in The
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
They do go hand in
It's
hand.
it's better to have the like kind of through line for the
Yeah.
It's better to have the
median
through
viewer.
line, and we didn't get any retcons of Eli, nothing like that. It's
Yeah.
just there's potential to see him in the future, and I want to see more Chiss in media. So like that, if we see Arlani, we'll see Eli, and that's
Shout out
what
to
I want.
Chidia.
Honestly, I will say this: like, they could easily do a Tales of the Chiss Ascendancy show, and I would watch it.
Yeah, if
Mm,
they just called it Tales of the Chiffs,
Oh yeah.
I think people would watch
Oh
100%.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And you don't even need Thrawn in it. Like, you could do Arlani, but I mean, Thrawn's a better way of getting people into it.
Right.
Ron is
You
a good
could
way
you
of
could have
getting.
it be like one very well-known
Yeah.
Yeah,
character and one less well-known character.
Because
exactly.
you could do Thrawn with like Arlani, with Samacro, with Bakif. You could do that stuff.
With
Uh,
Borica.
yeah. And then for
With
like
Lachnim.
for like the other one, you could actually kind of retell the Grisk story.
Yeah,
And you could do a Skywalker story in Tales
yeah.
of the Chiss too. Um, yeah, because that would be really interesting to explore. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, Tales of the Empire was beautiful. It was amazing. Oh, by the way, love the final episode with Morgan and the New Republic guards, and I really want to make a New Republic guard uniform at some point.
Yeah. The the clothes. It the
I like that
clothes.
they went with the New Republic uniform being closest to the Alderaanian uniform.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very much like constantly reminding that, hey, remember that horrible atrocity?
Never
Yeah.
That
forget.
is why this exists.
Mhm.
Never forget. Yeah. What, pickle? Oh, sorry. But yeah, I loved it. I wish that each episode could have been a little bit longer. The shorts get me a little bit, but um, it's also just enough to keep you intrigued without dragging on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the perfect amount.
Holy crap! What? The cat has a mouse.
Oh, pickles.
Give me a second here. Do you need help, babe?
I
Hold on.
think you should go help.
Yeah. I'll be right
Go
back,
help.
people. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right. Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about the hidden path. We
I
need
am
more.
currently replaying Survivor, so I've been thinking about the hidden path a lot.
Valid. I'm just
Honestly, the hidden path is one of my favorite things that has been introduced in the like Reign of the Empire era.
yeah, like we had gotten some words of like I know the Alderaanians were working on like housing and hiding Jedi that had survived. So seeing that during like because that was a big reason why there was an attempt on uh that was a big reason why the Empire was like very anti them. Is
Yeah.
because they tried to save the Jedi. Uh and seeing that develop into the hidden path and everything was it, I know that they're not necessarily connected, but seeing that idea become the hidden path is very fun to see.
Very fun to see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I found a hole in my pants, so I'm quickly shutting it.
Oh, here, do you need some pins? Ah,
Oh, it's
drop
a
the
small
pin.
enough hole. I don't need
Okay.
pins. But I've got 2 different emergency sewing kits, and then also my proper sewing supplies here.
Yeah. I've
So
got this lovely little blackwork pin cushion because, of course, I don't have a normal pin cushion.
very nice.
Like, look at it. It's so cute.
We love a good pin cushion. I've got
Yeah.
my teeny tiny pocket sewing repair kit that I
Nice.
carry for cons with the tiny baby garbage scissors that can't actually cut anything, but
Yeah.
they get through metal detectors. So
Yeah. See, I just have dresses that straight up can't go through metal detectors because I have real metal buttons like these. I'm not gonna.
oh yeah, my
These.
Nash Durango cosplay always gets flagged in metal detectors because for some reason Nash Durango has metal belt loops.
Uh-huh.
And her belt forms the dividing line between her shirt and her pants, so the belt loops have to be kind of floating.
Yeah.
So there's like a belt sewn to the pants, and then on that there are these loops that are then floating so that they can be above the line of the hem, or
Yeah.
like the top hem of the pants. Um, it's a little bit of a weird engineering, but it ends up looking right, and it
Yeah.
works great actually. It cinches up nice and holds the pants up, which is all that they really need to do. I don't know how this turned into us discussing metal parts on clothes, but
It happens.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
yeah,
Um,
we were just discussing sewing.
Sewing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pickle is a great hunter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Now he's looking for his mouse that we just had to chuck off our balcony. Um,
But much respect to the cats who are still good mousers in this day and age.
he is a
Yeah.
great mouser. He is a great mouser. But now I feel like I need to contact the vet to make sure that he doesn't get fleas now.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, I'm fine. Um, okay, so let's talk about the main event, which is Pickle is not an outdoor cat, so
Yeah.
which is the Acolyte, and how we got footage after the Phantom Menace, and then yesterday we got a brand new trailer for this thing.
With lots of new good stuff to look at.
Yes.
And terrifying stuff to look at, to be fair.
Yes. I'm gonna
Both kinds of things.
let you two take over for this one.
Yeah. Take the lead there.
I don't know. Which should I talk about both? Should I talk about one or the other? Should I talk about?
If you want to
Should I
talk
talk
about
about the exclusive look from the Phantom Menace?
if
Yes,
you want to do
please.
that, you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will. I'm just gonna kind of vaguely say about the Phantom Menace one. It looks really good.
Yep.
It isn't anything super new. So if you aren't able to get out to see it,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry too much. It seems like it's probably going to be one of the first scenes in the show.
Yeah. It's
Um,
definitely episode 1.
yeah.
Definitely episode 1.
Sorry, just snipping off the thread. So it was great. It was fun. I made me even more excited for the Acolyte, which I didn't know was possible. The trailer was a lot of new stuff. We had I think our first lines from Kimir, I think his name is, the
Did it?
ex smuggler character,
Mhm.
who was repeating some things that we've heard from
Mhm.
non-Jedi, especially people in the gray areas of the legality in the galaxy, their thoughts on the Jedi.
What?
What?
But I do think it's of note that the last couple words of his little spiel about the Jedi is that the Jedi's peace is a lie,
Yes.
Yeah.
which that activated some alarm bells in my KOTOR brain. Uh,
See,
for
but
anyone unaware, that is the first line of the Sith code.
Mhm.
yeah, it activates that alarm bell, but also it fits in so well with the whole peace without justice is a lie.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
it still fits within the whole
it
lore about the Jedi's peace in the High
exactly.
Republic.
And like I can very much see this being like he has absolutely zero connection to the Sith. I could also see it being that he's the man in the mask.
Mhm.
You
I could
know,
also see it being that he's just one of the many, 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 many people who the Sith have influenced
yeah,
over
it
time.
it it could
It's a
be
mystery.
so many. The High Republic team loves to give us red herrings. Just look at the Drengir.
Yeah,
It's right there in
that's
the
true.
name.
That is true. They also just love to just tease us.
They
They
do.
do.
They really do.
Yeah.
And
Uh
it's very clear that Headland is in that same boat.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I will say this, I do not think the Nihil are gonna be in this. I really don't think we're gonna see them.
Yeah,
No,
If
I
we
think the
should be
Nihil are
wrapping
pretty
them up.
long gone by this
yeah.
point.
They'll
Um
be pretty gone for.
I think you're gonna see more of like a revamped Path of the Open Hand because we are getting that mother character.
Could be like a Path of the Open Hand type thing, or
Yeah.
I think kind of more likely it could be maybe this could be a third clan from Dathomir. I don't know, the
Yeah.
Valley clan,
Checking.
Mhm.
the River clan, I don't know.
Who
Mhm.
knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who
Like
knows?
if we do have a resurgence of the Path of the Open Hands with a mother-like character,
Mm.
it could go into your chart, Leah.
It could go into the chart. I have a chart of all of the groups that either are confirmed to be or that I think are offshoots from the Path of the Open Hand.
Mm.
Um, it includes the Linarans from Padawan.
Oh,
I think also somewhere on this chart is the planet Naboo. Whatever, I'm not going to get too far into it because it's part of my magic sauce planets
s-
model,
We definitely have to have a night where you just go through the
where I
magic
just
sauce
talk about the
planet.
magic sauce, the
I
magic
I
sauce
want you to
theory.
I want you to do your best Charlie Day conspiracy theorist from It's Always Sunny in
It
Philadelphia.
it I think the best way to present it
Yeah,
would be with a cork board with
with
string on
multiple
it.
rope, yeah,
I'll
string.
get a cork board. I'll put it together. We'll find a live show when I can just
Yeah.
go
It, it
bonkers.
it's like me with my whole like the formation of the unknown regions is what caused the fall of the old republic.
Oh,
I
oh,
like that.
sorry.
Anyway, yeah, so we had
Yeah.
lines from Kimir,
Yeah.
we have more looks at Master Soul and Master Idara and May,
Don't forget
um,
Jackie.
Jackie, a little bit of Yord. I think it was mostly stuff that we'd already seen with Yord.
Mhm.
Um,
I
some of
love Yord.
Torben. We had Torben's eyes going black in front of the in front of the mother's people, which that's distressing. Hope he makes it out okay.
He's gonna
Probably
be the
not.
Acolyte.
Probably not. He probably didn't make it out all right. Being that I've seen a lot of people theorizing that some of those scenes, the scenes where Soul's hair is shorter, are like flashbacks.
Mm.
Mhm.
So we don't see him in the present,
Mm-hmm.
nor do we see Indara very much in the present. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how things are going. We do know that Jedi are being killed. It's said right there in the
Oh, it's fun for the
in
whole
the
family.
narration.
Mhm.
It
It's
is
fun
fun
for
for
the
the
whole
whole
family.
family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
It's fun for the whole family. Mothers,
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
heralds. I
Siblings.
mean,
Yeah. I do love that with the man in the mask, we do continue the trend of the High Republic drawing more from like generally medieval aesthetics,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
because you cannot tell me that that is not just salad with a bever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a salad.
And I really like it's something else that the High Republic has done really well is like drawing on the because one thing that has been talked about a lot with kind of the general design aesthetics of the different trilogies is
Mhm.
like in the prequels everything's new, in the originals everything's old and outdated and falling apart, and in the sequels everything's ancient. You have this 1,000-year-old castle, you have
Mm-hmm.
um you have um ruins on Agen Kloss, you have Exegol, you have Octo,
Yeah.
and
It's an
I
exploration
like
of the
that
past.
and kind of with that, I like that they've leaned onto some of the like aesthetic choices of the sequel era
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to inform the aesthetics of the High Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah.
we saw that with this isn't in the sequel movies, but this is in the sequel era. The planet. Oh, come on, it's one of my favorite planets. From the Resistance episode Relic Raiders.
Oh, is it the one where they find the Sith temple?
Is where they find the Sith temple, but it's under a newer temple of the Church of the Force.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because
And the
that's when.
aesthetics of that are very similar to a lot of the aesthetics that we see in the High Republic.
Because
But what I'm getting at is the person with the red lightsaber, the man in the mask.
Mhm.
Yes, with
children and the old lady.
the children and the old lady who was supposed to be Ventress, but then they
Just about to
were
say that.
told not to do Ventress.
Yeah.
And I'm really annoyed that I can't remember the name of the planet right now. I'll remember it like right after I finish this. But the man in the mask is very similar to like the Knights of Ren masks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which the Knights of Ren also very much drew on a more medieval European aesthetic.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think it's neat to have those through lines from like the earliest points in Star Wars live action to the latest points in Star Wars live action.
It's so good.
I'm just
It's
gonna
like
say this.
poetry.
I'm just gonna say this right now. It's gonna be another fart in a suit. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know what? You know what? I would actually not be too upset with that. I would, if they
Yeah.
like took the helmet off and just a wisp of green smoke came out, I'd be like,
Yeah.
wow, this is even more like
Mm-hmm.
mystery here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've had masks possessing people with
We've had
with dark
masks.
It's in
side
Shadow of the
precedent
Sith.
for
It's
masks
literally in
possessing
Shadow of the
people
Sith.
in
Yeah.
and the Darth Vader comics with the Moment helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we've had
Ooh,
masks possessing people.
That would be a great way for this to tie into the Sith while still not having them encounter one of the Sith. and still having them be able to say, the Sith have been dead for 1,000 years, and totally think that they're right and not be hiding anything. If it's just a helmet possessing someone,
It's technically not a Sith.
it's technically not a Sith.
Ashas Re is the planet.
Ashes Ree, thank you so much, John. Yeah, I would actually really like that. I would like that. That would be a
Yeah.
good way to get around the people who are complaining, who don't know that Yoda hides things like it's breathing.
It's
Yeah.
one big cover up after another. That's all it is. That's all Yoda does. He
Yoda
just covers
constructs
up everything.
cover-ups.
Yeah,
Yoda fucks with people so much. Like,
he does. Actually, you know what? I'm
The
going to
truth
say
they
this right
cannot
now.
handle. Less than a century old they are.
I'm going to say this right now. Yoda's the ultimate gaslighter.
yeah, I'll take it.
Nameless? Know nothing about those
Yeah,
I do.
exactly.
Disappear I must for a year.
Why are yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
love that he pretty much just goes away and then comes back Gandalf style, but not in the best way.
Yoda is a character, and I mean that derogatorily.
He is a character.
He's a character.
Yoda is such a muppet.
So what do you think about Yoda? He's a muppet. Yeah, we know. No, he's a muppet.
No. Like insult.
Yeah, no, yeah, we know he's a muppet. No, he's a muppet.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just one big cover up. It's all just that's all he's doing is just covering stuff up.
Yeah.
And I really hope that that series starts to explore like his cover-ups.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that he's also mysteriously and conveniently on a sabbatical during the during the Acolyte. Because
Yoda's poorly
I don't think we
timed
need to see Yoda
vacations.
all the time.
Yeah,
but
Yoda's
two,
poorly timed vacations are the funniest thing.
And it's not just in the High Republic either. We had that in the Clone Wars season 6.
Yeah.
We had that.
Oh yeah. He disappears and then goes on a dark side adventure.
He disappears, goes on a dark side adventure vision quest extraordinaire, and then comes back and doesn't tell anyone anything about it, even though he just discovered the key to life after death.
And here's another thing. He knew what was coming and didn't say anything. You mean to tell me he didn't know about the fall of the Republic?
Like, how many episodes before the end of the Clone Wars did they find out that Dooku was like had his hands in the formation of the Grand Army of the Republic?
Oh, a bunch.
So many. Yeah, so many.
I mean, also look at it. As much as I hate the character, Pong Krell saw the writing on the wall and saw what was happening.
Yeah.
And tried to warn everybody.
He just did it in the worst way possible.
He did.
Exactly.
But even then, Maul knew what was going down and tried to.
But he was never going to tell anybody because, he wanted to stop it so that he could end up on top, which is why he never told anybody else.
Yeah.
Or the only people he did tell were like an ex-Jedi, some random criminals.
Hey, by the way, this thing's going to fall. They're like, no.
I don't think the Jedi fell to the they didn't fall to the dark side. The Jedi, I think Headland put it really well. The Jedi are very much always of the light. They are very much always like trying to do the right thing. They are always their intentions are always benevolent, but they are bogged down by the fact that they are this institution, this system that is so integrated into the Republic by this point.
Yeah. The problems of the Jedi at the end of the Republic are exactly what the Living Force is exploring. They are so bogged down by the bureaucracy and by the big issues that we lose on what the Jedi are meant to be, which is there to help.
I think
Because we lose the
it's
outpost system, and because of all of that, the Jedi are no longer able to be there to help.
Yeah. I think it's very clear from how we see the Jedi interacting with the Republic in what's the furthest back? Phase 2 of the High Republic, like in Cataclysm, where Yoda is having yes, Yoda is meeting with the Chancellor. And yes, the Jedi are meeting with Molo, but they're meeting with Molo because they just happen to be in the same place at the same time. And Yoda's meeting with Kion Greylark it's stated in the book that like this does not happen often. The Jedi and the Republic don't often work together. It's mostly just a circumstance thing. And there's a lot of intent behind that. It's so that the Jedi don't have to, it's that they can act as a third party in things like negotiations. It's so that they can, they aren't beholden to exactly what the Senate wants. See phase 1 of the High Republic with Avar working with the Hutts. But as the Jedi got more integrated with the Republic, then we see in the Living Force where Yoda and Adigali are having meetings with the Chancellor and the Senate every day. And they're going with line items of like, okay, here, can you do the SpawnCon for us?
Yeah. Do you want to do a sponsorship?
Well,
this Jedi Heroics brought to you by Skillshare.
But another thing that I noticed is, and you kind of hit the nail on the head with Yoda and his meeting with Greylark in Cataclysm. For somebody that forbids attachments so much, he encourages other people to get attached.
Yes.
Because he pretty much encourages Kion Greylark to resign as Chancellor to go save her son.
And I think it's he makes it like the High Republic makes it very clear. The Jedi, at least at that time, they don't hold anyone else to the standards of like detachment that they hold themselves to.
No.
That
one Jedi who had one
Rail Avaros.
Yes.
You know, no attachments.
No attachments.
No, just a lot of one nights.
Yeah, Jedi are terrible to email with. They never remember to put in attachments. I'm
muting you now.
But yeah, like, and then whereas we see in kind of with, I don't know, let me pull an example out, like Trace and Rafa Martez, they are not like none of the Jedi say like, well, don't be so attached to her, but like they aren't trained at that point they aren't equipped to help with those individual problems anymore, those individual interpersonal things at that point, because they've just been so busy doing what the Republic needs, which is normally big things like trade negotiations.
Like, we see how poorly equipped the Jedi can be for big picture things, because they don't understand normal people.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No. And that's why I would love to see just like a normal person be a Jedi and just be like, dude, you need to chill. Like, come on, man. Like,
I mean, we kind of have more of that, at least in the High Republic. We have we have Kevmo and Zala staying in just a random flop house on Dalna.
That's true.
We have the Jedi.
Elzar.
We have the Jedi, the Young Jedi and Young Jedi Adventures, and
they just want to have a good time.
But they're like interacting with the community. They are like walking around the town. They're not just locked up in the temple.
But even then, I would say they're attached to their community, though.
Yeah.
And I mean, definitely. But like they I
Wouldn't
think
you
the
also
thing
get upset
is,
about the loss of the spicy noodle stand like Imri did?
I
right,
mean,
and I think
I wanted those noodles.
Same.
what is it? Like the High Republic talks a lot about attachment,
Mhm.
and one of the
It
things
does.
is like you're allowed to love things, love
Mhm.
places, love people. You just have to, and like it can be a good thing. It can help motivate you. It can
Yeah.
help keep you going. You just have to be ready to recognize that sometimes you can't save everything. Sometimes you can't save everyone. Sometimes you
Mhm.
have to let someone sort themselves out while you handle something that they can't handle.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No, I agree.
And like I think, yeah,
I think
and
we're gonna
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna continue harping on the same point more.
No, but I think one of the things that we're definitely going to see with the Acolyte, especially with these Jedi being murdered and the investigation that happens, you're going to see them really explore attachments even more now, I think, because you're going to see more in depth of how this affects the Jedi personally and how this affects the Order, which I'm also really interested to see how they become more militaristic in this series as well, because I have a feeling like that you're going to start to see more of that in this series like we have been seeing in phase 3 of the High Republic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to see more battle hardened Jedi in this show now because of the threat of the Nihil, because
Yeah.
you're going to see more pirates popping up. You're going to
Mhm.
start seeing that more and more, because I think once the Nihil are out of the way, you're going to have a vacuum of chaos. And I think that's
Oh
what
yeah.
we're going to see in this show, is them trying to clean up that vacuum of chaos left over.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anything
It's
else?
I'm just so ready for the Acolyte. We've got
Mhm.
less than
Less
a
than a
month
month.
now.
Yeah. Less than a month. I'm super excited. I also really hope we get some ties to Jedi Survivor a little bit. Like, I hope we
Yeah.
can kind of get some ties with that. Then
It's
maybe
hard
talk
because
about
then that's still
Tanalorr.
another 100 years separate from,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because Tanalor's been abandoned at this point for 100 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I don't know. It was just a thought.
Um, but I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it was a lot to talk about tonight.
There's a lot,
Um,
yeah.
was indeed
yeah, yeah,
We shockingly stayed pretty well on topic.
we did.
shockingly.
We did.
Shockingly.
Shockingly. I mean, what do I need to know before watching The Acolyte? I know about the great hyperspace disaster, Starlight, and the Drengir. Read Phase 2, because I think Phase 2 is
Yeah.
definitely going to tie into it a lot more, too.
Uh John, I can send you a reading list for phase 2.
And I mean,
You're
I
going the
think
audiobook route. That's what I'm
I
doing for
think
you.
I think the Acolyte is definitely going to be completely accessible to anyone who is not
Yeah.
Oh, I
who
agree.
doesn't know anything about the High
I
Republic
I agree.
whatsoever.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's definitely going to be accessible to people that have not experienced the High Republic, but it's definitely going to have a lot for the people that have. That have
Yeah.
taken
I
the journey.
think it's going to be like the first season, the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian in that way, where it's
Mhm.
like it's
Yeah.
great for getting people who maybe have only seen the movies
Mhm.
Yeah.
into it. There is
Yeah.
also plenty to chew on if
Mhm.
you
Oh yeah.
know things
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
outside of the movies.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. Plus I'm ready to go back to Coruscant for a bit. I'm ready to
I am
see.
too.
I'm
Yeah.
ready to see a younger Coruscant.
Mhm.
Someone
I am
someone
too.
pointed out that like in the shots that we have in the trailer of the Jedi Temple, it's a little taller.
Yeah.
Because
Because
the city
Coruscant
around
has
it has not grown as
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
So we're still potentially at the point where the tallest mountain on Coruscant is still visible.
Right.
Which
Umate
we've
is
never
Umate
seen on
is
screen.
visible.
Yeah.
Umate was in
It's in the
Mando.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was in Mando because they're in the plaza eating the ice
But
cream.
it was like this much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
it
was
was
like a
also
boulder.
it was also in
The
um,
boulder.
the boulder.
Older.
It was also in Clone Wars too, because they showed it in Clone Wars in a couple of episodes.
Mhm.
Um,
Where
yeah,
Satine and Obi-Wan had their little talk while Satine was on the lamb.
yeah, yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got reference to Dalna too. I wouldn't be
Oh yeah.
surprised if we got reference to that.
Dalna is just going to continue haunting the Jedi, I'm fairly
Yeah,
certain.
yeah.
I also wouldn't be too shocked if we had a Jedha mention.
Yeah.
Hmm. That would be
Especially
cool.
since we have this other Force religion
Yeah.
Mhm.
with Mother Anasea's people.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I can totally see, because it's not 100% clear what planet those scenes are on. It could
mhm.
be Jeddah.
It could
It
It
be.
could.
looks
It
like
could
it
be.
could be, a cold desert environment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For some reason, my brain, when I saw those scenes, immediately jumped to like, oh my god, are they on Batu? Which would also be great.
I would love that.
It would be really cool,
Or
yeah.
it
We're
could be just
close.
it could just be a random other planet as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Coruscant is the capital for as far back as we know in the canon.
Yeah. It's been the capital for a
It's
hot minute.
it's only after the fall of the Empire that the capital shifts to Chandrila and
Yeah,
then
Hosnian.
cycles around.
And then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I believe it's whoever's in charge at that point. It goes to like their home planet or something.
No, it's not whoever's in charge. I think
That's
they just
right.
cycle the capital around because they
That's right.
didn't want any one place to become too big of a central power.
Yeah, well,
Because Coruscant became such a
hmm
symbol, such a
Yeah.
hard nut to crack at the end of the war.
Mhm.
well, also, I mean, look what happened to Hosnian Prime. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Exactly. It also makes you a target.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And John, by this point, the Jedi have pretty much fully transitioned to Coruscant. That happens towards, like in the middle of the High Republic, Phase 1, Phase 3.
Yeah.
Um,
At the end of phase 1, the Jedi are recalled to Coruscant.
and they kind of hunker down there.
Yeah.
Um, and though we do know that at least for some time after that, they still maintained the outpost. So I wouldn't be shocked if we also have
Yeah.
plenty of scenes involving Jedi outposts on other planets.
Mhm.
They haven't fully consolidated to Coruscant at this point,
no,
but
Yeah.
Jeddah hasn't been the center of Jedi power since before the High Republic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm thinking with that mother character, she could also possibly be involved in an offset of the Sorcerers of Tun too.
Ooh, we do see
Ooh.
fire imagery in the trailers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
If we saw like a Sorcerer of Tund type fire bending, whatever,
it
that
goes
would
back
I
to
think
bending.
make me
I would be so
lose my
happy.
mind.
Mhm. I'd be happy
You know who
too.
else would lose their mind if they saw that?
The
Jedi Knight Wildar
boulder.
Mac.
Oh, I was gonna say the boulder. Um,
All I
anyway,
know is that gives me all the Acolyte hype is like, man, I need to finish the tabards for my Jedi mission robes. Just I've had it at this stage for like a year.
I
so
yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, since you mentioned cosplay, I've been thinking of doing Indara.
Mm.
Um, I think that would be fun.
So our High Republic support group is going to be meeting during the Acolyte.
Yep.
We're going to be crying through that,
Yeah.
and dealing with the pain.
Mhm.
But I mean, come on, one of the most ambitious Star Wars projects out there is coming,
Oh yeah.
um, and we're being fed, people. We're being
We
fed.
really are being fed. And I'm pretty sure once we are finished with the main High Republic, we're gonna get Old Republic goodies.
Old Republic's coming. It's in the pipeline. I think you're right. I think they want to finish High Republic first and then
Yeah.
move on to Old
Yeah.
Republic.
And we also get the Low Republic, so like right after the fall of the Sith, the reorganization of the
Mm,
Republic.
That would be
that
really
would be
fun.
really interesting. Yeah,
I
because
love Star Wars politics, so
I love politics.
and honestly, if you go Old Republic, you could start with the Stark Hyperspace War
yeah.
and then go from there. The KOTOR remake, they are still up in the air about that KOTOR remake. They keep saying it's coming, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
They
Also,
keep saying it's coming, but they also say that about Elder Scrolls 6.
we have a better shot at seeing Elder Scrolls 6 before we see KOTOR remake. That's all I'm going to say.
Real.
Um, and in fact, actually, Starfield will probably have a sequel before the KOTOR remake comes out.
Yeah.
It just works.
Starfield's amazing. Um, yeah, but I also wanted to say, God, it had something to do with the Old Republic.
Revan,
No,
Malik, Astilashan.
no, stop it.
I don't know. I'm just
I don't.
throwing
The
things out there
Mandalorian
to jog your
The
Force.
brain.
Mandalorian. I don't remember now. It's probably gonna come to me after the show, and I'm probably just gonna text it to you guys.
Asha
Okay.
3.
Yeah, gosh,
Hyperspace worms.
hyperspace. Yeah. Damn it. Anyway. Yeah. Oh no, the last thing. Yeah, it had nothing to do. We were talking about games. It has something to do with games. We finally have a release date for Hunters.
Hmm.
That's
Finally,
true.
June
I
4th.
need to read that book.
Yeah.
So if you have a Nintendo Switch, it will be on there, and it will be on mobile devices as well, Apple and Android.
Mhm.
So you can join the arena. I'm probably going to play it on Switch. That's what I'm thinking that I'm going to play it on because I like having controls. Um,
Very justified.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, this is the game that they announced in 2021 that's been delayed like 5 times now. Um, it looks fun.
A book came out last year about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was supposed to hit last year finally.
Right.
And then yeah. Finally another Star Wars mobile game to play outside of Galaxy of Heroes. Yeah, this is a MOBA, so it's kind of like League of Legends meets Overwatch meets all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it
Which
also has canonicity to it, which I
it
like in
does.
a game.
It does. I also like the whole thing of like each match being like a sports broadcast too.
Yeah.
Like if you give me the commentators for like each match, I'm gonna be happy with that.
Hmm.
One of my favorite games, this was an independent game that was on the Xbox 360. It was called Monday Night Combat. And it was literally Team Fortress as a MOBA. And it was like in third person, and it was great. It was so much fun. And like you were running around this arena trying to eliminate your opponents while also trying to take out their base and get a huge jackpot at the end. It was
Hmm.
great. It was great.
Nice.
It was called Monday Night Combat. And then like the announcer like during some eliminations would be like, "Did you see that? That was amazing!" Like yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Xbox, bring back 1 versus 100 live, please. Bring that back for us. Anyway, um, the game show. It was great. We had it on the 360. It was so much fun. They did it weekly live. It was amazing. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So Hunters is happening, um, and we are excited.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
I am
And
too.
it's given me an excuse to finally read that book that I've had in my pile for since it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. Oh, by the way, on this trip, I finally finished the Thick Sanderson novel.
Nice.
Yeah, finally.
The crowd goes wild.
Now I'm reading the short story that takes place during the thick one.
Mhm.
I love when authors write short stories that like directly tie in with one of their books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far
Tessa Gratton's done a couple of those recently.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tessa has. So far the prologue to this is literally the story that he gave us to set the character up in the big book.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So I get to reread this just in case I kind of forgot where this character came from. There's a lot of characters in that book.
Yeah.
There are a lot of characters. Anyway, yeah. So Hunters, yeah, the book. Let us know how it is, Leah.
Will do.
Yeah, I'll read it eventually. I'll read it eventually. It's on the list.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up. I have kind of left a lot of the junior novels out of my Star
Mhm.
Wars canon read.
Mhm.
I made an exception for the High Republic ones.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, speaking of High Republic, I've got one more thing to say. If you are an ebook reader right now, going on right now, there is a May 4th sale on Light of the Jedi and Rise of the Red Blade. They're both $2.99 on e-readers. And if you have enough Kindle points, you could possibly get one of them for free.
Yeah.
So,
This
yeah.
does remind me I need to continue my. I lent out Rise of the Red Blade to a friend who is now no longer a friend, like over a year ago.
Oh,
So
Ooh.
we have gotten it from my roommate to from their roommate to their girlfriend, who will now give it to me.
Oh, good. Good. Finally.
It has been a
Finally.
quest to get it,
Ah.
so I can finally
quest
read
for
the
the
book.
hidden book.
Yes, quest for the hidden book. Yes.
The main reason I have not read Rise of the Red Blade yet is because of that.
Yeah, I get it. Prepare for an emotional roller coaster. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll have tissues.
Good, good. As all Star Wars fans should.
As all Star Wars fans should.
Yes,
We keep the tissue industry going.
we do.
As they round out the hybrid.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
answer the
we
question.
got another question. Do you think as they round out the High Republic Phase 3, we'll either get a video game, movie, or other animated show set in the High Republic? I don't think we will specifically for Phase 3.
Mhm.
I am
Yeah.
really looking forward to Young Jedi Adventures Season 2, which would be taking place during Phase 1
Mhm.
of the High Republic now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll have something specifically for the end of Phase 3, mostly because
By now it would have been announced.
by now it would
Yeah.
have been announced, A, and B, I don't think they want to tangle too much with the Acolyte.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially since the Acolyte is one of their like big live action shows.
Mhm.
And I understand that.
Yeah. I think we'll
yeah.
start to see more High Republic stuff announced after the Acolyte is wrapped and everything.
Yeah, I
and that's
think
when
they're
they
gonna
can go into
kind of
producing
use
more.
I think they're gonna kind of use the Acolyte as like is this going to work for a
Yeah.
for outside of the book market, outside
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the Yeah.
I could see them doing a video game kind of set during the age of exploration. Like I could see them doing
Oh
more
yeah.
age of exploration. I could see them doing like early High Republic stuff instead of like around the main continent. I mean, around like the main two phases.
Yeah.
Um,
It would be fun to see more Everany.
mhm, yeah. Um, I would also love to just have a game as a Pathfinder team,
Oh
honestly.
yeah.
Yeah, like a Mass Effect style Pathfinder team game.
Mm.
I think that would be a lot of fun. As far as animated, Young Jedi Adventures is probably going to be it for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Animated, live action, it's going to be the Acolyte until, like Leah said, they need to see if it sticks first. Um,
They they'll
yeah.
need to see if it sticks, but like it would be fun if we do see an animated show to have like
Hmm.
maybe a crew of folks stuck in the occlusion zone
Hmm.
as like uh kind of as a survival drama. Plus,
Hmm.
we can have the kind of episodic nature of early Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
I think that's one place where the phase 3 occlusion zone type thing would work really well
Hmm.
for kind of introducing people to the phase, even though it is in
Hmm.
the middle of the story. Um, is because it's very quick to see, like, okay, here's the Jedi, they're the good guys, they're fighting the Nihil, they're the bad guys, they're the government in this part of the galaxy and they're doing bad things. Easy
Yeah.
Yeah,
setup.
yeah. I will also say, because we're having an investigation aspect to the Acolyte, if this ends up working the way I think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna work well. That's just me being optimistic about it.
Mm.
And also just the High Republic fan in me doing that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing more investigation style shows set during the High Republic era, where you have the Jedi investigators like Emmerich. You know,
Oh
you could center a season around Emmerich and some of his investigations that he's done.
yeah.
You don't necessarily have to do Trail of Shadows. You could do something else.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's just how I feel about that. We don't know. I mean, it's up in the air right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope it lands. I really do. I hope they stick the landing. I have a feeling they will. But
Mhm.
it all depends. It all depends on critic response. It depends on fan response. It depends on all of that. A lot of people are gearing up for the Disney Plus memberships again, so that way they can watch The Acolyte.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see. We'll see what
We'll
happens.
see.
Yeah. Anything else before we go?
No.
No.
The Force will be free.
The
The,
Force.
I I don't
And
have any
muting.
pay. Oh yeah, let me just. The force will be
Yes.
free
The Force will be
We
free.
will greet them not with an open hand, but with a
with the
closed
closed
fist.
fist.
Next week, live show Saturday night. It's going to be our big Bad Batch roundtable. We are going to be wrapping up the series, talking about what worked, talking about what didn't work, possibly crying, reliving some of these moments. And yeah, so that's going to be it for us this week. May the Force be with you. May you always fight for light and life. And remember, at the end of the day, we're all the Republic. Have a wonderful rest of your Star Wars weekend, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
May the
Have a
force be with
wizard
you.
weekend.
Wizard, Annie.
Wizard.
Wizard. The Lobber.